No, I think
let's start all over on tour on you.
yeah, I'm saying I don't even know.
She's shown them. They're very colorful. Hello, I'm here.
We wear a red light on it.
Yeah, we do.
Trina will give me an exercise and I'll go, I don't know about that. He's like, come on, Leah, try.
And it was such a joy to catch up and start talking about it. So we started talking about it. Well, I wouldn't touch the floor. I wouldn't touch the floor. Girl, I have to let me get my cell phone out.
I hadn't even known Leah was stopping me. And so, oh yeah, normally I don't wear forms and
on the corner.
on my window. You go, girl!
I put my Lord in the blinders and my No, I do that too.
Well, they try to hit them, pick them up. You don't hear that fun. I mean, like I said, I started to feel like now I do.
Oh, you were on the phone with me.
Did it?
Hung out. You don't know what that was all about, but I. Another video.
Right?
Bad. What do you think?
That's better.
That looks good.
And I love how the light just right there.
Is that bad?
No.
Oh, it's thinning. Oh, that's magically delicious, isn't it?
You have issues.
Yes, I do.
It runs in the blood, I think.
I think it does. Plus the fact that we're redheads. It's like we
Oh, that could have something to do with it too?
Sink all the
Yeah,
time.
that could have a lot to do with it.
So we're here to talk about weight loss.
Yes.
I invited you over and she said yes, and I said yes.
I don't remember saying yes.
No, really you didn't. What would you say?
No.
What would you say? You said what?
Okay.
Yeah.
You insist. If you think it'll help.
Well, I think it will help because I have a lot of friends that are interested in weight loss, but every time they ask you, how are you losing weight, I just kind of wonder, do they mean it? Do they want to hear the whole spiel, or do they want the short answer that appeases them? So
some people, I think, want to make it a bigger issue than it is. I think a lot of times people blow it up. They think, oh my God, I've got to change my diet. I can't eat this and I can't eat that. And I think they make it so much of an ordeal that they get themselves worked up.
I think we're going to have to try this again.
He didn't want to hear what I had to say. He was unimpressed with my spiel. No, I think,
but let's start all over because I'm going to have to cut the cake.
I think people make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. We make, they think that, oh, to go on a diet to lose weight, I have to stop eating this and I have to stop eating that, and I can't, I'm going to have to change everything, and I don't want to do that. I mean, because who wants to? I love cake. I love pizza. Who doesn't? And I don't, when I first started this, I did not, my problem was that I was going long periods without eating. It wasn't so much as that I was overeating. I would go long periods without eating, and then when I did eat, sometimes it would be crumble. My favorite little snack was those Totino's pizzas.
Oh yeah.
I freaking love those things. I haven't had one since then, but I love those stupid things. But when I first started doing it, I was talking to a good friend of mine who was doing the Trim and Healthy Mama thing.
I don't know it.
It's basically she was telling me that I needed to eat every 2 hours.
Okay.
She said if you're going long periods of time and you're not even hungry, that means you've slowed your metabolism like way down.
Okay.
And she said if you are hungry, then your metabolism is working through it, and then you're needing more food. But if you're not hungry, then your metabolism is moving really slow. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that, you know. So I started eating it every 2 hours. I just took whatever I had, and
Okay, but before we get into that, I want to ask you, who and what happened in your life to make you want to lose weight?
My dad had a car accident about, I think it's been about 10 years now, and he was uncommitted because he had AFib, and he hit his head, and when he hit his head, he started bleeding on his brain. When that happened, long story short, he ended up paralyzed on one side. But he was a big man. He was about 6'1", he weighed about 375 pounds, and he was a big man. He wasn't like, floppy, sloppy fat, but he was just a big man. And taking care of him and helping taking care of him for 8 years before he died, it was a big job, and it took 2 people to do. And I remember looking around thinking, after my dad died, I thought, I don't want to be, I don't want my kids to have to do that for me. I mean, it could happen to any of us, and it could be that,
Right.
you end up taking care. It could happen to anybody at any time. But I did not want to be so dependent, and so I think if Dad had been smaller, then maybe he would have been capable of getting some of his function back. But because he was overweight, it was too much to try to lift, and it was a big job just to get him up out of bed. It took two of us to do it, to get him to the doctor, to do anything. It took two people. So I did not want to be, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to, not that I think there's anything wrong with my dad. There was not. It was just,
No,
it was
but
the
that's the turning
circumstances,
point, and that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
What was the turning point to make you decide,
And I
I want to lose weight?
had a hard time just walking through the store. I'd go into Walmart, and sometimes I'd have to get a cart because I could barely walk. My knees hurt so bad. And I've already had surgery one time, and I did not, the doctor told me that inevitably I'll probably have to have my knees replaced, but at 26, there was, we don't want to do that. Because they're only good for 10 years. I'd have them placed numerous times. So he just did a surgery to postpone the inevitable. So, but I know that you can't get a knee replacement without losing weight, anyway. And I thought, well, maybe if I can get my knees stronger, then maybe I won't, I can postpone it even longer, or maybe even not have to do that, so it kind of made me want to do something,
Okay, so I have another question for you. Are you ready? So what hurdles did you have to overcome just to begin to lose weight?
Finding good food on a budget.
Yeah.
Finding food that's healthy and that's good for you, but it's in your budget and that you like. I learned one of my biggest things was learning things that I don't like and things that I don't care for. We always say, well, I don't like that, and I don't like that, and I don't like that. Sometimes it's not that you don't like it, you just don't care for it. And so you're like, no, I'm not even going to try that because I know I don't like it. Or you had it once as a kid and it gave you such a bad, mom made you eat it, and so now you just don't like it and you never want to eat it again.
Right.
We used to eat oatmeal all the time as kids, but oatmeal is very healthy for you. It's very high in protein, fiber, it's good for you. And I had to think, did I not like it because my mom made me eat it as a kid and I didn't like it then, or do I just not like it or just not care for it? And I found that I just didn't care for it. I can eat it, and I do eat it, but I did not, I started off changing that image in my head of what I don't like and what I don't care for.
Okay.
I'm still adjusting to a few different foods. Sweet potatoes I'm not crazy about, but they're a healthy potato, and if you like potatoes, it's the healthier way to go, but it's a work in progress.
I think you're doing great. Okay, so now, is the sun in your eyes?
No.
You're doing okay?
It's covering my body, not my face.
I know, it's nice contour on you.
Yeah, I'm saying. I look even whiter than normal.
We'll never get a tan.
I know. Not for a redhead. It doesn't happen. Just the freckles pop out and you look like you got a tan.
I know, right? Okay, so tell us, what was your menu, and then later I want to ask you what your exercise routine is. But first, tell us about your menu choices.
When I first started, though, it
Yes.
wasn't about changing my entire menu.
Good, talk about that.
I knew that it was going to be, it was not a diet.
No, I hate that word diet.
And people say all the time it's a lifestyle change, and people say it and you like roll your eyes because that was the big thing when they did the Atkins diet, lifestyle change, blah blah blah. But it really is, because once you start making changes, they kind of tend to snowball, and then once they snowball, you find that you don't have the urge to eat some of the things that you used to eat. The things that you used to like don't taste the way they used to. Like when you stop drinking pop and you go to straight water, and that's all you drink is water or coffee. Let's not get ridiculous. But when you stop drinking pop and then you go to drink a pop, it's disgusting.
I haven't tried it.
Oh, it's horrible. It really is. I tried drinking a sugar pop one time because it was all that was available and there was no water and nothing, and somebody had a pop, and I took one drink out of it and went, nope.
Really?
It was horrible. It tasted like drinking pure sugar. It was
Oh.
nasty.
Wow.
But that's what happens when you start making changes and you start eating differently. Then you find that some of those things don't taste good anymore, and you don't want them anymore. So it does become a lifestyle change, and it's totally about changing just certain eating habits. Um, the I started out by just taking what I had, whatever I was already eating that week, and just cutting it in half, making my portion smaller, and then eating every 2 hours. I timed it, and
Yeah.
every day at 8 o'clock I ate, at 10 o'clock I ate, 12 o'clock I ate, 2 o'clock I ate, 4 o'clock I ate. And then I tried to cut it off at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I would eat something small when I got home because I was working until 6 then. But I tried not to eat too late at night because then you're just kind of laying down, you're not doing anything.
Right.
Not that I was doing a whole heck of a lot at work, but well, that sun is moving, isn't it?
Yeah. You want to sit on my lap?
No, I'm good.
Here, why don't you slide
So,
over?
so
There. Is that better?
that's better. The I took like the Totino's pizza I told you I used to
Yeah.
eat. I took it and I cut it in half. I
Uh-huh.
cut it right down the middle, and I cooked half of it, and I ate that, and then 2 hours later, I ate the other half. And then after a week of like or so of just taking what I had, whatever I had, and cutting it in half and eating smaller portions every 2 hours, then I started taking one of those meals and replacing it with something more healthy, like broccoli. I took a cottage cheese container because I ate cottage cheese, and so I love cottage cheese. So I took an empty cottage cheese container I had, and I filled it with broccoli, and I put a little butter on top of it, and I microwaved it, so it was like, I think about a minute and a half, and then I gave it, and then I ate because I didn't want it soggy, and I liked that little crunch to it, so I would eat that. That was a meal for me. And then I would take certain little containers, and I'd fill it with, cottage cheese, or I would have I just replaced a meal every time. I
So
do
it
it
was
for a couple
already
weeks.
set up?
So I just kind of went, okay, now what am I going to do for this meal? Now what am I going to change next week?
Okay.
Or, I did it for a couple weeks, and then I'd change another meal. So by the time I changed, I was eating oatmeal in the morning, one package. Not two packages. What a lot of us tend to do is eat two packages.
Absolutely. I did.
Yeah, but I only ate one package, and yes, it was packaged oatmeal, but whatever. I could eat it that way. I can't eat just the steel cut oats. No. But like the maple and brown sugar, I could make one package, and I could eat that. I could eat a whole container of broccoli. I ate light and fit Greek yogurt, really good. Probably one of the best Greek yogurts out there, in my opinion. It's very low in sugar, so it's good for you. I did. Then I started doing cutting up my own fruit. I started making meals. It kind of snowballed into me cutting up a whole bunch of fruit now where I cut up fruit every week, and I have them in like 2-cup containers, and I make like 20 of them for me and the kids to eat every
And they're
morning.
very colorful. She's
Yeah.
shown them. They're very colorful.
Well, we do pineapple, kiwi, strawberries, raspberries. It kind of changes sometimes depending on the fruit that's within a price range. Pineapple's normally been good. We get it for about $3 at Sam's, and it's a big one, and I get 2 of them, and it's a good amount. Strawberries run about $4 for a big container of it at Sam's, so I get that. So it just kind of depends on what we've got available, what's
So-
reasonably priced.
So at the beginning, she used her resources that she's already had, and she's
Yeah.
cut them in half and made extra meals.
Right.
And
That way I wasn't eating, like we typically eat big breakfast, not big breakfast, but we eat something big for breakfast, and then we eat something big for lunch, and then we eat this huge dinner, blah, blah, blah. Then you're going to bed. And so then you're not doing anything.
Right.
So I just took them and cut them in half so that I made my portions smaller. So what it did is it makes your metabolism work to burn it off. And since it knows it's going to get more in a couple hours, it burns through it faster. So then you're burning through your food faster instead of your metabolism moving really slow to slowly break down what you're eating. Now you're putting food in it more frequently, so your metabolism's trying to keep up. So it's working faster. I found that I had an increase in energy. I had an increase in, I was hungry. When I first started, I was like, dang, it's 2 hours, I gotta eat again already. And, but after a while, it was like, man, I'm hungry. Is it 2 hours yet? Is it 2 hours yet? Because my body would burn through the food faster. I had a lot more energy. I couldn't do much with the energy because I was still overweight. And I was still horribly out of shape. I lost when I first started, within the first week or two, I dropped 3 pounds. And it was almost weekly. I was dropping 3 pounds weekly. It just shedded right. I mean, just shed
great.
right off. And then I hit a plateau, and then it stopped. And then I realized, okay, I think it's time for me to get up off my butt. And then, because I wanted to get some of the weight off before I started exercising, because by getting the weight off, then I'm taking less pressure off my knee. I wouldn't have as much pressures on my knees. So by getting some of the weight off, I could start walking a little bit. And I hadn't done anything. I mean, I sat at a job that was it was a drop-off laundromat. So really the only time you got up and did anything was when somebody came in. Some days were busy, most days were pretty slow. So I sat and I crocheted. I love crocheting. But I crocheted all day long. I just sat there and crocheted all day long. So I really had no physical exercise at all, none. So when I plateaued, I figured it was time for me to start. But I couldn't just go and hop in at the gym. I'm horribly out of shape. When I first started the weight loss, I weighed almost 300 pounds. I was pushing 300 really hard. I wasn't there, but I was close. And
so how heavy were you when you started your exercise?
I had dropped, I dropped about 30 pounds, 35 pounds. And I started walking just to the end of the block.
Really?
And then back. And sometimes that was enough. I mean, that was just about all I could do. So then I would, I did that for a while, maybe a few days or a week. And if I felt like I had more energy, then I would do it again. And then I would do it again. Some days I could make 5 trips, and some days I could only make 2. And then once I was able to consistently walk back and forth to the end of the block quite a few times, then I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna try going to the gym, because they hate me when I go to the gym because I feel out of place.
We stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, we're over.
It's like wearing a red light on our head.
Yeah,
saying,
right.
hello, I'm here.
We wear a red light on our head.
Yeah, we do.
So, dang, that sun does not like me today.
You
I'm just gonna sit behind you. Aww. So,
your sunglasses.
Sunglasses. So I did.
You want a scoochie again?
I'm just gonna sit in your lap eventually.
I know. If I was a real gentleman, I'd let you be on this side.
You're not though. So
apparently not.
We did. I started going to the gym, and I had to find a machine that kind of worked for me.
Yeah.
I have heel spurs, and I have really bad knees, and I used that as an excuse for years not to get up and exercise. Anyway, so
heel spurs hurt like heck.
Yes, they are horrible.
Oh,
and I
gosh.
had a horrible time. When you weigh that much, it's more additional pressure. Very, very painful. I walked everywhere. I limped everywhere I went because it hurt so bad. So the treadmill was pretty much off limits, because I tried the treadmill and I saw a chiropractor, and he said, "Leah, stay off the treadmill." I said, "Yes, sir." Well, the bike was difficult because of my knees. The recumbent bike was okay, but I still had trouble. So I found the elliptical hurt. Like, I could only do like 2 minutes. It was horrible. And then somebody introduced me to the arc trainer, and the arc trainer was amazing.
What is that?
It is similar to the elliptical,
but
the difference is the way that you're pushing it.
Yeah.
That it does not, like with the elliptical, you have to push down and back.
Yeah.
Okay. On the arc trainer, you're just back and forth. That's all you're doing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like you're skiing. So your feet are just going back and forth, and you can adjust the height to where it's really low, so you're not using your knees as much, and then you can put it really high where your knees are going to go up, and so it really makes you move. I mean, you're using everything. You're not using your arms, you're holding on, but you really do burn a lot of calories on that stupid thing, and it'll work your butt over, because it works everything. It works your legs, it works your glutes, it works everything, and I could handle it. And so I started out on that arc trainer, and I did, I started out doing 5 minutes on it, and then I increased every time I got on it. I was determined to do it another minute. And so I would do 5, and then I did 6, and then I did 7, and then I was doing 10, and then by the time I was done, by the time I actually stopped doing it, and it's not that I don't still do it, it's just now I work with the trainer, so I don't get on it as much. but I did an hour a few times on it. But
great.
compared to that first, 5 minutes that literally had me pouring sweat and dying, and going, it gives you a good workout though. And but that's where I started. Then we met the trainer at Planet Fitness, and we started talking to him, and he introduced us to his classes, and I started doing some of his classes. And
whoops, there goes the camera again.
we are having some
You're in
massive
the sun again.
issues.
Why don't you come sit right here on the high
Okay.
thing? Oh, we're gonna move back.
sun
to
went
where
that
we
way.
were. Okay, we've discussed your menu, how you utilized what you had first.
Yes. It's about making small changes over a period of time. It's not about making huge, massive changes overnight. Believe it or not, you'll burn out on it really fast. Most people burn out on those. They try making those abrupt changes, and then they put themselves without for too long, and then they crave, because your body is addicted to sugar. You have an addiction to sugar. It really is true, and you will crave the sugar until you cave in and you overindulge. So I did, when I first started, if I wanted a flippin' Twinkie, I ate a flippin' Twinkie. I just made my meal a little bit smaller. And I learned that I only had to have one. I didn't have to have both. I only had to have one. Until I could wean myself down off of that stuff. That way I didn't cut myself off cold turkey. I just kind of weaned. And let's be honest, about once a month we still all crave chocolate. So I still have my moments, but instead of buying an entire cake or
Entire batch of brownies.
Or a whole box of Little Debbie cakes, Walmart sells cake by the slice. So I go get me a piece of chocolate cake.
The
That's all I
temptation's
need.
not in your kitchen.
Nope, and that's all I need. I just need a piece. I don't need a whole cake. I just need a piece. And I've never been a huge, we've all like our Twix bars or whatever, but I've never had a huge candy problem. I don't eat a lot of sugar. It's upset my stomach sometimes. But cake is a bigger issue because I'll crave the cake long before I crave the candy bar. So when I want chocolate, I want something cakey. I want like a brownie, or I want like a piece of cake or something like that. So then I found that, I can go just to Walmart or whatever and just get one piece.
So once again, though, you're starting with what you have, including
Right.
your exercise. She would walk down to the end of the road and back, whatever she could handle, and then you built on it. So my question is, you started at roughly 300, and how many years and how many pounds are you at?
Well, I plateaued. I think there might be some thyroid issues going on. Not because I haven't lost weight, but just because of some other symptoms I've got going on. And it's a huge family trait. So I kind of plateaued about a year ago, and I haven't lost any more since then. But I've been at it about 2 years. I've lost a total of 50 pounds, but the 50 pounds hasn't just been, yes, it's been pounds, okay? But the working out and the training and stuff that I do, it's slimmed. Like
Yeah, toned.
It's toned.
Reshaped, redefined.
Exactly. Because if you look at a
Absolutely.
difference between my first 30 pounds and my next 10, the difference is huge.
So are you happy with your results?
I am, but I still feel like I've got a long way to go. And I think it's just a journey that we all, it's individual to each person.
Absolutely.
People want to fit into a category. They hear about this diet, and they want to do
Right.
this diet, or they want to do
It
that
doesn't.
diet. And it's unique. I think we all in
You're
our
right.
own heads know how to lose weight. We just don't want to make that step because we think it has to be this huge drastic step, and it really doesn't. It just needs to start with one step. Just making one change, and then making another change, and then
Right.
another one until it just snowballs. And you're gonna have days that you fall back and eat pizza, and you're gonna have days that you fall back and eat a nutty bar or an oatmeal pie or whatever. And the trick is not allowing yourself to feel guilty over that, because let's be realistic, we are human, we have our cravings, our body's used to eating certain ways, and you're gonna desire them and you're gonna want them. But as long as you can teach yourself to only eat one and not eat the whole box,
Right.
then you can not feel guilty about it. You can allow yourself to give into that craving. Somebody was joking about making pizza with the cauliflower crust.
I
and
did
went,
that.
"Ew."
I I did that.
I am not that desperate to eat healthy pizza, okay? If I want some
Ouch.
flippin' pizza, I'm gonna eat real pizza. I want the doughy pizza.
I'm going to tell you, it was really good. I gave it
I'll
to
take
my
your word
boys.
for it.
I gave it to my boys. They couldn't tell the difference.
I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm not that desperate. If I want pizza, I'm gonna
But
eat
you
pizza.
said, like, and I agree, once again, this just shows uniqueness. What's worked for you
Right.
doesn't work for me. What works for
Exactly.
me obviously doesn't work for her.
I
but
can't
she's got
imagine.
the results that she needs,
Yes.
and that's
oh
what
my
counts.
goodness, my ability to, when I first started, it was losing weight, then and becoming more mobile, because I had become so, like I said, I could barely walk through Walmart. Sometimes I would have to get a cart, and then I felt like I was that fat lady that couldn't walk through but my knees really hurt and my feet really hurt.
Oh.
But now I could probably run through Walmart if they let me, because I can move now. And every time the trainer jokes with me, because every time I can do something new, it's exciting.
It is exciting.
It's not, I couldn't do that before. When I first started, I could plank on my knees, and that was hard because my knees are bad. But I could do it on my knees, and I could hold it, I don't know, maybe for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Now, and then it transformed. So now I could do a regular plank on my toes, on my elbows. I've done the planks where you are on your elbows and you move up to your hands, and then you go back down to your elbows and you go back up to your hands. I've done a walkout plank. I've done, all these have built upon where I started. So anytime that the trainer will give me an exercise and I'll go, I don't know about that. He's like, come on, Leah, try. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And so then I'll try it, and then when I can do it, I'm like, oh, I could do
You're
it.
like, hot damn.
Oh my gosh, I could do it. Lunges were probably the most difficult, and those have just started. I've been working out I signed up at the gym, I think May or June
This year?
of 2016.
Oh, okay.
Of 2016. Yeah, so it's been about a year and a half. I started the gym, and I just started doing lunges about a month ago. The knees are really, really bad. Okay, they have to modify a lot of exercises for me because I can't do them. I've had 3 C-sections. It kind of does its number on the lower abs. So the lower abs are a little bit of a struggle, so I still can't do some things. But I can.
A lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, after 3 C-sections, those muscles just aren't what they used to be. I have a rotator cuff issue. I can't lift above my head. So anything that has to be done, like if I'm lifting weights or whatever, and I have to go above my head, then I don't use the weights. I just do my arms. So it kind of helps strengthen it, because I'm still giving it something, but I'm not overtaxing it to tear it or mess it up any even further. I also have a hernia, so I have to be careful in my straining too much and something. So they've had to modify a lot of things because of some different physical ailments, but we've been able to modify and adjust and
grow.
Strengthen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I could do a lot.
That's
a lot
awesome.
More. Oh yeah,
I'm so proud of you.
I'm very excited because, like I said, every time I could do something, when I first started, like I said, 5 minutes. Now I'm on my way to the gym here shortly, and I'll be working out for 2 hours tonight.
Yeah, I am so proud of her. She was sharing with me a while back her progress and the exciting new things that she's accomplishing, and I was just so excited. I was right there with her. I'm like, I feel your excitement. I feel your happiness. I feel your heartache. I feel your pain.
Oh, it's pain.
But we grew up together, and
Yeah.
it was such a joy to catch up and find out, oh my gosh, what a trooper she is. Holy cow, and that's for anybody who goes after the weight loss. You don't just sit on the sideline and ho-hum and just feel so overwhelmed that you're not going to start.
It really is a journey of one step at a time. Just
Yeah.
one step at a time. And you're never going to get anywhere if you don't get up and make that first step. Never.
Absolutely. So I'm so excited that she took time out of her day today to share with us. I really am. And I'm hoping that this can encourage someone out there, because I get asked all the time, how are you losing your weight? How are you losing weight? And I ran into Leah. I don't even know how we started talking about it, but we started talking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to sit down and do a video. I was like, I need that, because I'm a truck driver, and we're always looking how to be fit, be healthy, and lose weight. And I think this is great.
And work in a sit-down job.
Yeah, and you started with sitting down knitting. She started this journey sitting down and knitting. Crocheting.
There's a difference.
Gosh, I said knitting, 3 times?
There's a difference.
I am so sorry.
I tried to let it go the first time,
No.
but after the second, third time, I couldn't.
She's
do it.
absolutely right. You don't want to misinterpret this.
There's a
because
difference.
It is an art. It is an art.
is
and
an
I
art.
do respect it. I'm sorry about that. I'm never going to live this down.
But yeah, even now I have a sit-down job.
Oh yeah, you
I do.
do.
So I sit in an office all day. So sometimes when the boss is out, like when I'm going to go do something, if I know he's not in yet and I got to print checks or whatever, so I have to wait for them to print, then I'll drop down and do a plank until they're done printing so that I'm doing something during the day, so I'm not just sitting, getting up and moving around and walking just to kind of move muscles. But it stinks when you have a sit-down job. It's a little difficult to keep mobile and keep active, so sometimes you just got to get that little in when you can, Like on the bathroom floor at a truck stop. I'm sure you could drop down and do a plank, right?
Well, I wouldn't touch the floor. I wouldn't touch the floor, but I have definitely done I would go in the large stall.
Do a wall sit?
And just, no, I don't touch the walls. You don't want to touch anything in the truck stop. Girl, I have to educate you.
I do know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, but I have gone in there and done squats and exercises. So, but like you said, start utilizing what you have.
Yes.
Find your own unique plan.
Yes.
Don't quit. If you got to take a step down and then start your climb up again, do it.
You have one bad day, don't let it become a bad week. Just
Right.
one bad day or one bad hour. Let it be one bad hour and then go back.
Right. I agree with you, absolutely.
Don't beat yourself up and let go, oh, forget it, I can't do it. No. You don't have both moments.
You're worth it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Keep
Yes.
doing it. You're
It's
worth
worth the journey.
Absolutely.
It is definitely worth the journey.
How do you think it has helped you with your attitude and outlook on life, your daily life?
I have so much more energy in being able to function. Now, I still have aches and pains, and I still have the,
But what about
whatever.
your attitude?
But I think that I feel better about myself because I don't feel like I'm, I can actually walk through the store. Sometimes now I walk faster than my husband. Sometimes I walk faster than my kids. But being able to be motivated and move is exciting for me.
It is.
And every time somebody stops me to go, wow, you've lost a lot of weight, you look great. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, I know.
You just made my day.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I wasn't listening all the way.
One more time. Let me record that. Hold on.
Let me get my cell phone out.
I've had people at the gym stop me and say
that's
that,
great.
wow, I could tell that and I don't know them from Adam. I'm not trying to hit on because I'm not. But
Go
they're
with
just.
redheads. Everybody wants us.
But I mean, this one guy stopped me last week, and he's like, I just want you to know. He goes, I've been watching you, and you work really hard. He goes, and you look great. And I was like, thanks. Like, you totally made my day. And then I had another lady walk up to me. She's like, how much weight have you lost? You look great. And I was like, oh, thank you. People don't even know me, and they're stopping me. And so, it does wonders for the self-esteem.
It does.
So then you start looking at your clothes differently. You're not wearing like baggy, like hanging off, covering all the rolls, everything. I still got the rolls, but I don't feel the need to wear big baggy clothes to hide everything anymore. I'm not. Okay, this is a little form-fitting, but I'm going to the gym. Okay.
Yeah, she is. She's
Normally,
going to the gym.
Normally I don't wear form-fitting clothes.
On the courthouse steps.
Looking smexy, okay?
She's definitely smexy.
But typically I wouldn't wear, I'll wear more form-fitting clothes and not wear overly baggy clothes. But there's a difference between being this wide and then being this wide.
But what you said, it's so nice to get a compliment from a stranger.
Oh, yeah.
Or even someone who knows you, that, what I've been finding myself doing? If I notice somebody, I will compliment them.
Yes, I do it.
I just say, you look really nice today, or whatever.
Or when you see somebody who's starting their journey, and like you see somebody walking down the street, sometimes I would roll down my window and go, you go, girl!
I took my horn at the bikers that are like exercising.
I know, I want to,
Or
but
in
then
a
I think, oh my
marathon.
God, they're going to think I'm some
I know.
crazy lunatic.
No, I do that too. If I see some joggers, I'll be like, doot, 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 because I want it to be a happy honk so they don't think
Yes.
I'm mad at them.
I know. Or that you're or that you're trying to hit on them, pick them up, any of that fun stuff. But at the gym, I mean, there's this older gentleman. He can barely walk, and he's at the gym like 2-3 times a week working out. Yes, his wife goes with him. She just sits there and reads while he works out.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, this is a frail man. I'm like, dude, you are my hero. You don't even know. You are my hero, because he's got to be in his 80s. But he does his little workout every time. But when you see somebody starting their journey, you feel the need to go, you know what? You're doing great. You're doing great. I mean, I've bought people waters at the gym because they started their first couple sessions and they didn't think to bring a water. I'm like, oh, honey, you're going to need this. So I'll buy them a water, and really, we find it's become like a little community in there. Even if they only come a few times, we encourage each other. It's Planet Fitness, by the way. But we do, we encourage them.
That's her second plug. I've been counting.
I love Planet Fitness. It really is a good place to start. It's not for the big bodybuilders. There are a few there, but it's a good place to start. It's reasonably priced. You don't have to break the bank to do it. But it's and they have a trainer on staff who does the classes for free. Every single one does. And the classes, I mean, like I said, I started doing the classes. Now I'll do 4 of them tonight. So I'll be there for 2 hours. So, and he kicks my butt.
I'm going to go and take some pictures of you.
Oh, he kicks my butt.
I'll be taking pictures of him kicking your butt.
See how sexy my hair is now?
Well, that's windblown.
It won't be that way in about an hour. I look like I took a shower with my clothes on. My hair will be dripping and I'll be looking like a hot, sweaty mess. But then I'll still do that other hour. Because I only get to the gym 3 days a week. So I can't get there the other days because life happens. And so I only get there 3 days a week. So when I'm there those 3 days, man, I put it all in. I put all I got in.
I think we have to wrap it up because the wind is kicking up and I don't even know if they can hear us or just read our lips. I don't know.
And I don't know what time it is, so I don't know if I have to
I know. Yet. Well, we've been on here for 36 minutes.
What time did we start?
I don't know. You pulled up next to me and honked your horn.
I did honk my horn.
You did.
I don't know where the horn is on that thing.
Are you serious?
It's a new car.
Oh, you were on the phone with me.
She's like, where are you? Did you drive fast? I'm like, no, I parked next to you, cracker.
Well, just when you said that, there was a car that passed you. They thought that was you.
No. I figured it out. I just cut somebody off to get over there, but I did it.
Well, thank you so much for coming out and chit-chatting with us and helping somebody else start
I really
their
do
journey.
hope it helps somebody else start their journey because it really does make a big difference. Just one step at a time.
Absolutely.
One step. That's all it takes.
So cheers. We
Yay.
wish you the best.
Good luck.
And one step at I don't know what that was all about, but okay.
I suddenly looked at myself in the camera and realized I was showing cleavage, and so then I was like, oh, wait.
I'm sorry, I didn't notice your cleavage.
Stop judging me. It's really bad when he tells me I have to do a mountain climber and I have to get down on the floor, and then I'm like, hello.
At least you have some cleavage. I have nothing.
Yeah,
but anyway, let's not go there. That's a whole nother video.
Right.
Bye, y'all. One step at a time. Don't quit.
Don't quit.
And don't beat yourself up if you have a setback. Just make it a little setback, not an all-day setback.
Exactly.
All right. Bye, guys. Good luck. Bye, darlings.